In my previous video, I introduced the philosophy of the WACS outreach, and you got to meet some members of the 2026 WACS outreach team. From Accra, volunteers traveled to various hospitals in different regions all around Ghana. I was posted to Kumasi, the second largest city in Ghana and the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom. As a child, I was fascinated with the story of the Ashanti Empire. Did I tell you that after my first history lesson about the Ashanti, I went home and in a moment of childhood inspiration, wrote a poem about the indomitable spirit of the Ashanti. Central to the poem was the Ashanti stool, which symbolized the unity and power of the Ashanti Empire. I never forget the astonished look on the face of my history teacher, Mr. Onolaja, when I boldly walked up to him the next history lesson and announced that I had written a poem about the Ashanti Empire. It's a pity I no longer have a copy of that poem. It would have been nice to read the words of my 11-year-old self. The poem must have been reasonably decent because Mr. Onolaja made me rewrite it, and for the remainder of that year, it was pasted at the class entrance. So in a funny way, traveling to Kumasi felt like a homecoming of some sort. I was based at the National Cleft Centre. This 5-level building, dedicated to the specialized care of children with cleft lip and palate, is the result of a collaboration between the Ministry of Health, Komfuanochi Teaching Hospital, the Ghana Cleft Foundation, and Operation Smiletrain. By the way, Komfuanochi was the name of the high priest who, as the legend has it, commanded the Ashanti stool to descend from the heavens. Here I am with Janet and Joel, two of the surgeons who traveled up from Accra to participate in the outreach. On my first day at work, Janet took me on a mini tour of the Cleft Center. As I walked around, the pictures on the walls told me stories of lives changed, destinies restored, tears shed by mothers replaced with prayers of joy. This particular picture in theaters made me laugh out loud every single day. Just look at those shoes. My mind traveled 20 years into the future, and I saw a young man with a swag. And what would have become of that swag if we had not fixed his smile? In this building, despondency and despair are replaced by hope through surgery and allied care. And for 1 week, I was part of the process. I met colleagues from various disciplines and made new friends. The standout patient for me was this little girl who I think I will remember for the rest of my life. She was 9 years. Even by Ghanaian standards, this was a very late presentation. Father and daughter had traveled from the northern part of Ghana. Communication was difficult, even for the staff based at Kumasi, where Tree was the lingua franca. So it was hard to find out from her father what had kept them from accessing care for 9 years. But your guess is as good as mine. In Ghana, there is also a north-south divide. There was a certain learned helplessness about this child, which I could only attribute to years of being the butt of jokes from her age mates. You know how some children can be shockingly cruel, being stared at wherever she went and kept hidden at home as much as possible. Her speech was impaired, and you can see that she was underweight for her age. I was unable to ascertain from her father if she was even in school. This was a child whose society had left behind big time. 3 hours of operating, and here is my newest found friend with her even more beautiful smile. It was just the beginning, but now her father could return home with a daughter who was no longer considered the cursed child. Apologies, J.K. Rowling. Yes, my children do belong to the Harry Potter generation. At the National Cleft Centre, we did 27 operations during the outreach week. You can find out more about the amazing work that goes on here at the Facebook page of the Ghana Cleft Foundation. I have posted the link here, and they'll be very appreciative of your support. I have also posted the link to the YouTube channel of Smiletrain, where you can watch the video of Miracle, the very first baby to be treated here at the National Cleft Centre in Kumasi. During the outreach week, other teams shared pictures and information about work going on in their locations. It was not just a time of operating, but a time of teaching, training, mentoring, and of course, relating over food. And our Ghanaian host did not disappoint. I was introduced to many culinary delights: kenke, banku, kwenkwe, and as you can see in this picture, 1000 man, which is the name of a species of small dried fish served with okra soup. This is the largest goiter operated on during this outreach. The specimen alone weighed 1.6 kilograms. And here is the patient after the operation. Across many regions, necks were freed of encumbrances. Wombs were rid of multiple fibroids. Vision was restored. And at the trauma center, life saved as the hands of the multidisciplinary team of perioperative elves labored away, sometimes late into the night. In total, 913 operations were performed in Ghana during the outreach week. We're aware that this is but a drop in the ocean with regards to addressing the unfulfilled surgical care needs of our people. But on the flip side, every single one of the 913 cases is a person, a family, a community relieved of a health burden, relieved of a label, returned to some semblance of normalcy. On my last day at the Cleft Center, we held a debrief, after which the team conspired to play Ada Ada, a popular song by Nigerian musician Flavour, and I had no choice but to live up to my name. Now, if you think that was a musical ending, you ain't seen nothing yet, till you see the celebration by the University of Cape Coast Hospital team. After the outreach, I returned to Accra and got immediately sucked into the program of the 66th conference. There was the usual pomp and pageantry always associated with college activities. At the opening ceremony, President John Mahama of Ghana was inducted as Grand Patron of WACS. Here he is in full college regalia with Professor Yakasai, the current WACS president. I don't know how it happened, but a picture of yours truly was featured on the Jubilee House, which I'm told is the official Facebook page of the seat of the Ghanaian government. I reached into my archives for these pictures, taken in this same city, Accra, 21 years ago, when I first graduated as a fellow of the West African College. The week was packed full from thought-provoking presentations, dinners, meetings, all of which represented a golden opportunity to reunite with friends and colleagues from the past, and a silver opportunity to connect with younger colleagues, to recalibrate and recast. That is me with my former classmate, Kufre, now Professor of Ear, Nose and Throat Surgery at University of Sokoto Teaching Hospital. And from the archives, this is Kufre and I at medical school graduation nearly 40 years ago. And this is one of my newest found young friends, our first graduating WACS fellow by examination in anesthesia from Liberia. Not only that, he won the Anesthesia Prize named after my mentor, a woman who most decisively influenced my choice of anesthesia as a career pathway, the late Professor Dorothy J. Fuchs-Crabbe, fondly called Mama.
The DJ Fuchs-Crabbe Prize in Anesthesia for the best candidate in the fellowship examinations who passed all examinations at the first attempt, Dr. T. Julio Carr, National Hospital, Abuja.
It was a very proud moment for Liberia. It was a very proud moment for anesthesia.
Mr. President, did I mention that he's Liberian? We need to mention that again. Yes. Proud ambassador he is. Now you've lost your way, you need to come this way.
Our own Dapo, one of the usual suspects from the outreach team, graduated as a fellow, and here he is with his significant other half, Patience, who flew all the way from Canada to provide wifely support. The president of the Royal College of Surgeons of England was one of many presidents of foreign colleges that graced the occasion. Disease processes are no respecters of geographical boundaries and leave us in no doubt that collaboration is the way forward. Those of us based in the UK were hosted to a lovely dinner in Ghana by the Royal College. And here is Mr. Oshowo, the coordinator of the WACS UK Forum, who just happens to be, yes, you guessed, another Arsenal fan. The WACS Gala dinner was a grand event held in lovely surroundings. And here, the Honourable Treasurer and I take to the dance floor to do what we do so well in West Africa. Yes, all work and no dance makes Jill a cranky lass. It was a week filled with so many heartwarming memories, but alas, all things must come to an end. Thank you, WACS, for keeping us connected. Thank you, Ghana, for being such warm, friendly and wonderful hosts. Next year, the WACS train travels to Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, for its 67th annual conference. Life and good health being available, I should hope to cover that story. So do stay tuned to this channel.